Hello, this is Anne Irons from Mount Taylor ParkCare Group. We've been working on Mount Taylor for 26 years up until this month. So what we see today is not what we looked at 26 years ago, indeed. We have actually more or less eliminated the weedy problems. We've done a huge number of trees that we've put in, and now we're waiting to see what climate change is going to do for us. The group that actually started was on the north side of Taylor. There were a lot of folk actually from that side of Taylor, and they went for a year. Then there was obviously a cavort and everybody left. So one of the rangers who sort of had met us somewhere, he came down one day and he said, "Do you want to start the group again?" So we said, okay, we're 5 of us, we'll start over here, which is a corner of Taylor, which is just above Mannheim Street anyway. And we thought, oh, that would be easy. Got all the tools, equipment. We can get round Mount Taylor, which is 5 squared kilometres, and it goes up to 800 odd metres. Well, 18 months later, we were still in the corner down here. We had to laugh because you have to have a bigger job backed up. And the rangers did that. They came and helped us with a huge amount of bigger equipment that we couldn't use, and they came in and helped us as well. So we actually got rid of a lot of the big stuff. But we're still working in this area now, coming back to remove some of mainly the woody weeds that have tried to take over. And we're looking at the adjustment now, and the adjustment is being looked after by people who bring in the horses, but there are a lot of weeds that they have to look after as well, and we're assisting them with that. Looking down here, we're looking at Lake Tuggeranong. A lot of the trees here are original. A lot of them actually very close to us are some of our plantation here, or plantings that we've put in. They're not a plantation, they're just local eucalypts that we've grown. All of our trees have been grown by us and by members of the group. We have had a few from Greening Australia when we've really been desperate for a lot of extra trees and shrubs. They've been very useful, very helpful. But most of these trees here are just bringing back the original trees. I think the weeds to start with, but the biggest challenges are now with people. People and climate change. We knew that the climate was changing because we only arrived here in 78, and Canberra's climate has definitely changed, there's no doubt about that. We've had more rain now. This year we've had much more rain than we've ever seen rain in summer. Quite amazing. What's it going to be like in autumn, winter? We're not quite like. What are these trees going to do? The ones that we've planted out, because they came when we had a pretty good, plenty of good seasons, and we also had the drought, the 10-year drought. And most of our trees survived. Very, very few actually we did actually quite a lot of water by hand that's something actually, if we plant a tree, we have to look after it for about 2 years with water. And then hopefully the roots have got their act together and we can stand back and get on with it. But a lot of our trees have survived drought, and of course we had the 2003 fire, and that was devastating for all of us. A lot of the infrastructure of the fences, and they used to have a lot of wooden stands and posts and all the rest of it, they were all gone. And so immediately after the fire, that was another thing that we had to face, was 4-wheel drives going up to the summit. So the whole group got out, and groups from both sides, actually from Farrer and from Coolaman, got in there, and we re-fenced a whole lot just by putting the stuff that was really badly damaged upright, so they couldn't get their cars through, and gates and stuff and the rangers of course came in and did a huge amount of work there as well. But that was quite a an epic, if you like, an epic event. And particularly we thought, what has happened to everything that we have actually worked on, Taylor? Have we destroyed the whole lot? Well, of course the trees came straight back, all the shrubs have come back, and now we think, don't do that sort of worry. We don't worry anymore. Nature will come back and fix us up. Yeah, and that's really worked. I think that's one of the things around here. You look up here and you think, okay, the roos are grazing the slot. They're keeping the grass down a bit. Unfortunately, the numbers are not being down. I think it's just the joy of looking at what you have in front now. And also the understory, which is to be aware that you have got to organise things properly and have the big picture. It's not just the small mountain here, it affects everybody across this area and the other side. As Wendy says, you know, that affects a lot of people as well, but you don't know about it. They don't know about it either. It's just us who work on it think, yes, we do know about it. The appreciation, and folk, you should see this lot come out. It looks like Pitt Street on a Saturday. Hundreds of people going up, running up, down. And we took a party up there just recently. It was a heritage walk actually, and we really had to step aside every 5 minutes because the next lot was rushing down. Yeah, and so that's the other side that we're looking at, isn't it? These guys are coming up and down for a physical side of things. If you ask them to come and do some weeding, they roll their eyes usually and haven't got that passion. Out of the 12,000, you'd probably find 2. Because they're doing other things. Because we keep very careful diaries, and I'm always saying to people, keep diaries because you forget about it from week to week of what you've done. So we keep a very clear message of where we're going, what we've done, and also the diaries tell us about statistics. Yes, statistics are very good to getting money from grants. And we've taken out 50,000 woody weeds, and I mean that, yes. So you look at briars and you think, no, none of those anymore. We're chasing soft weeds now, like St. John's wort, which everybody's got something about to say. We've found a little bit of research here that we can chop the tops off the plants when they're in full flower. No seeding. They're still alive and they'll be back next year. You think, yes, I've done a year. No seeding. Those are the sort of joys that you get when you're actually working with this lot. And looking here at all of our native grasses, we've got a very good range of good grasses now. We've obviously got the usual oats and various other things, but here we're looking at a whole lot of stipers coming through. There's a lot of soft weeds as well, but they just hold the ground together. I think you've got to be very pragmatic. When you take up a job like this or do something like that, you've got to be very pragmatic. You're not going to win it every year, probably 10 years or 20 years, and you think, yes, that might be a good... There's one of our oldest trees, just thinking of an old tree. All of us have achieved a lot of knowledge of the local trees, names, and also the animals. Although the animals, we've unfortunately lost a lot of our blue-tongued lizards because we have foxes and other four-legged things like cats. We had quite a few around here, but I haven't seen them for ages. Except one who is up there, not sure. Might be one of the dragons, not maybe the blue tongue, because it was a very big thing that shot underneath the rock there the other day. But yeah, we have lost a lot of our smaller animals probably over time. We used to have a lot of small native mice, because when we were clearing out some of these woody weeds, they would be underneath, or at least their food would be underneath because of the leaves, not the leaves, of the fruit, like cotoneasters and those sort of things. And so haven't seen them for yonks. No. So maybe that's one of the things that you've got to think about when you clean out woody weeds. What are you putting in replace for the birds? Nests, all of that sort of thing. Those are prickly things that protect them. The small birds get into these prickly woody weeds because the currawongs can't get to them. So you know, those are the sort of things you look at and you think, oh, I should have thought about that years ago. You have to laugh. I think the people who walk this mountain, they probably don't know anything about all the work that we've done behind our scenes, but the satisfaction of the group. We've got over 1,000 people now that have been through Taylor and worked on it, whether it's been groups, whether singles, or you know, groups that have been 60 and left and gone and that sort of thing. So that I think all of us have that feeling of satisfaction when you look at the mountain and think, yes, if you remember what it looked like 26 years ago, you think, yes. Most of us do. A lot of us don't, I think, because people who come in at the status quo, where it is as it is, isn't it? Yes. And to go on, we've just got to go on, keep controlling the weeds. But the biggest question is now, how do we control the crowds coming in? And this comes back to the rangers who've got to do all the maintenance of the tracks and keeping people on tracks, not just walking everywhere. Those are the sort of small things that we're looking at. They're not small things, actually, they're quite big. And looking after our bird life as well. We have got good lists of what we've got and what we haven't got now. And people's enthusiasm, I think, is the bottom line of that. The enthusiasm that we had 26 years ago, we've still got it now. And I hope that the people who will take over when we go left or right or whatever, they have that passion. Yeah, the bottom line. Again, passion. And you can go away and cry with absolute fury when something really goes wrong, like the fire. But then you think, oh, get your act together. Because Australia is a place that does rejuvenate itself. Well, certainly the native setup does, whether you like it or not. And of course down here, when we started here, and when we grew, we went and bought our house down here, there were very few trees down here. Now you look down here and you think, good Lord, it's highly populated. So, and you asked me a question about what is the future. We don't know about the future because of the climate change, but we're also looking at a huge number of people now in this area. When we started work, we had perhaps 5 people who used to walk to the summit. We're looking at 12,000 now. Last night, I had to go to a meeting, came back. There were 40 cars sitting out here at 6:30 last night. And I just thought, yes. Yeah. Mount Ainslie has a lot of visitors, as you know, because they walk up and they also drive up. But all the guys around here, Coolerman Ridge, Farrow, and that area are pretty protected from a huge number of visitors because they can't get at it. Here we've got a major road now, which is Silver Drive, and everybody can get in and out, and yes. That's a very interesting side of things that we're looking at now. And to keep the group going, we've got to have enthusiasm. That's been the big enthusiasm that we've managed to keep going for the 26 years. Just this environment, I think. Yeah, because we live just down here, we appreciate. And we all come from farming backgrounds. Yes, I think that's another thing, that just about all of us in that group have got country, farm, whatever backgrounds. Yeah, so you're still related to the environment, to the soil, you know, all of that. Yeah. But I don't think you can actually define it, except that you just enjoy it. And you come out here and you think, yes. And you go and look at some of the flowers that have come out and you think, well, you have protected them a bit. You know, the protection bit. I think the protection bit is actually quite important. Yeah. But it's just it's the enthusiasm of doing something, and in 26 years you think, geez, we really have created something, done something. That's the bottom line. You look up there and you think, what Wendy's done, what Coolaman have done on that side, that's what we've done. But very few know about it. It's nice to have an appreciation from a government setup, because one of the things from the north side has always been a lot of money has been put into Mulligan's Flat and around there, and I'm just saying it's happened over there. It's good, because there are a whole lot of other things that side. On the south side has been a bit of a quiet pony, I think. Yes, and it's been, I think it's all the work that we've done and all the groups that have been done, and Wendy was awarded down here for her 26 years of getting things done, often by herself. And you know, you just say, yes, I'm glad somebody got in there and actually looked at that hard work and appreciated. And I think that's the other thing. A lot of people come and go, as you know, particularly in government jobs, that they're often there for a few months, a couple of years, and then they're gone. And nobody knows what happened. And this has been one of the reasons that the diaries are so useful. But the trouble is, it's physical appreciation, or that you see around, not just in the mind, but actually walking through here and thinking, what am I looking at? I think that's one of the biggest thing for us is that we've had a very clear vision of what we were going to do 26 years ago. We didn't know actually what we were going to be doing, we just thought it was probably possible.